Okay, this is part 2 to the last video. The mindset that got me through everything and my healing and all that. I wanted to mention something that back then I didn't realize that I already knew. There's a lot that I ended up realizing along the way that I already knew and I was already doing, and I didn't even know I was doing it. All right. I think I created this YouTube channel back in 2011. And I used it as an outlet. Because at that time, that was probably one of the lowest points I had in my life. I had a few more low points after that. But yeah, at that time, that was the lowest. And so I used YouTube as a way to express that. Now, years later down the line, I ended up deleting like half the videos because my views had changed so much that I virtually disagree with almost everything I said back in 2011 when I was making the videos. And I also understand the responsibility of putting out videos that influence or inspire other people in their lives. And I didn't want to influence people to be that version of themselves through hearing me be that version of myself. That makes sense. Like, I didn't want to encourage it, is what I'm saying. Like, it's one thing to put it out there to show you that I've been through it. And for those who watched it at that time, they remember. But I didn't want to encourage or inspire other people to be that way who didn't know me prior. I didn't want to further encourage it. So I deleted it. But one funny thing is, there's one part about my channel that never changed. And that was the bio. It says, by me living my truth, I hope to inspire you to live yours. And that still stands perfectly true today. Because what I didn't realize, I was still saying out of authenticity, but what I didn't realize then that I realize now is that I also meant it in a way of like, by me expanding myself in front of you, I hope to inspire you and to allow you the space for you to expand yourself the way you see fit as well. And that's really what it comes down to with me. That's the whole core of why I even chose to be so open and public with my shit online for so many years. It's because of that. Now, along the way, did I become more private? Yes. Depending on what it is. Because I also understand that, like, some shit I go through is for me. And some shit I go through can be for everybody. But then I also understand seasons, right? So, whatever I am healing or dealing with, there's a season for it to be private, and then there's a season for it to be public. For me. I'm not saying that this is what goes for everyone. I'm saying this is how I do it. So, like, I used to be public with it the entire way. But I started seeing that encouraged other people in a wrong way sometimes. Like, let me give you an example. There was a video I made a long time ago, over 10 years ago, that the way that I was talking about the issue was blaming other people. Imagine someone seeing that today and seeing me now versus me then, and then they think that that's the way to do it. I would hate for that to happen. No, that's not how I got here. That's not how I changed. It's not how I changed my life. It's not how I healed. It's not how I transcended all the things I transcended. It could be very confusing or misleading. So I took it off my channel because I knew I was evolving and changing my perspective in the way that I deal with and heal my shit. And so the last thing I would ever want is another person to see that and then that's the route that they're inspired to take. I don't want to do that. And so that's what I mean by I understand the responsibility that comes with being so open publicly about my personal shit. And even then, I don't put every single thing out there. You know, I learned to be wise about it because some things really truly are for just me. And then there's things that are that I will feel intuitively to share. That I feel in me that another soul would benefit in their own special way, in their own authentic way. And so I follow that discernment heavily now. And or another method that I do is I'll generalize. That way anyone can interpret it any way that they wish for themselves, that they see fit. That can help them in their journey. Because maybe the way I interpret something may not be the way that someone else would interpret it in a way that's best for them. So I generalize a lot of the things I say so that it's more of like an open platter to those who need a message from the universe or whatever in their own way. That if I made it personalized, they may not receive it the same way. So I didn't even realize that bio, you know, that I made way back then when I was in my full darkness was that piece of light I always carried. And I didn't know fully. I kind of had an idea, but I didn't know fully that it also had something to do with my purpose here. Because me, naturally, I'm a healer. And so because of that, I had to first do it to myself. And so that's why I said, by me living my truth, I hope to inspire you to live yours, whatever yours is. And by me doing it publicly, I hope to hold space, a safe space for you to do it with yourself, whatever way works for you. And so it was another thing too that I noticed that I was doing that I didn't realize what it was until I dug deeper into the literature of it, was neuroplasticity. I was using neuroplasticity to heal and rewire, unlearn and relearn. So unlearn toxic behaviors, emotions, perspectives, beliefs, limitations, etc. And relearning who I at the time wanted to become. Another version of me that was a little more healed, a little more limitless, a little more self-empowered, etc. And so I just kept doing that over and over and over, and I wasn't even realizing until I started reading and following a lot more neuroscientists, and I dug deeper into that and realized that I was using neuroplasticity the whole time. So I was doing it, but I wasn't realizing the name behind it and what it was. Doing it, but not knowing it enough to explain it like I can now. And it's funny that the universe will take that turn with you. Like if you just That's another thing. Just trust. That was another thing that was told. That if you just trust the journey and walk the journey step by step, even if you can't see the whole way, what you need will be provided to you. Even if you don't fully understand what it is yet at that time, it is being provided to you to make the continual next step. And my whole journey is filled with that. It's filled with that at every experience, at every version of me, at every level. Because no matter what I went through, no matter how dark it was, I was always provided, A, the opportunity to get out. And I did. I used it. And B, the opportunity to learn from it, meaning what ways that this experience mirrors something in me, and what is it in me that's mirroring this into my reality, and how can I heal that from the root? What was the root of that? What caused that? What started that with the relationship with myself? And how can I get to the root and allow myself to fully feel it again, and then heal it and transcend it? What parts of it can I still hold today as wisdom, and what parts is best for me to let go of, so that I can continue to align with a higher version of myself moving forward? And so I kept doing that, and along the way I'm also resourceful. So if I knew I didn't know something, but I needed to know something, then I'm going to go after the information from different perspectives. That really applies to everything. Everything. If I wanted to learn how to speak better, guess what? I'm going to listen to those who speak better than me. I'm going to read books on communication. That's what I mean. No matter what it is, I'm going to be resourceful about it. I'm going to learn more and figure it out. And then practice it. And then in practicing it, it feels weird at first, but then you keep doing it, you keep practicing it, and it starts to become a part of you in a way. And then you start to kind of wiggle into the new suit and figure out what's the best balance to carry it forward in the most authentic way for me. And look at the consequence or results that are coming from it. And is this something I want to continue doing, or do I need to continue to tweak it so that I can, moving forward in practicing it, get better results in life and for myself. So that's really been my thought process throughout all the changes I've made in my life. And a lot of introspection also came with that too. So a lot of moments where, I'm being radically honest with myself, even if I'm shaking in telling that truth, because truths, especially about ourselves, are not comfortable to come to. They are uncomfortable, and sometimes, depending on that truth, very uncomfortable. But it's something that I'm so committed to that I'm willing to allow my voice to shake as I say it, and then just feel that discomfort, cry if necessary, and really go through what that discomfort is and allow myself to flow through it, so that A, it's not as uncomfortable anymore, and B, I can start to apply understanding to it, so I no longer fear it. And then as I grow more understanding to it in the spirals of experience, I start to see and understand deeper and deeper why I am the way I am. And then I can start to approach things from a perspective of, okay, now I understand this, so let me go ahead and apply the other thought process I just described, which is the practicing and the tweaking and the this and the that. It's like, in a way, I'm my own project. And my ultimate goal here is to reach my highest self. That is my ultimate. And let me park. My whole thing is to reach my highest self. And what version of me will be best aligned to create the reality, the highest vibrational reality for me, where I can walk in my purpose in full power and be what I need to be, what I set out to be by coming here in this life. And then completing that soul contract before I leave. And doing so in a way where I can also live very authentically and continue to enjoy this ride here while I'm here before I leave again. And that has been one of the deepest commitments of my life, is the commitment I made to myself at my darkest point is to either commit suicide and get it over with, or to commit to myself on all levels throughout any circumstance. And that is the promise that I still hold today, that is very near and dear to me, that has always gotten me through everything. Even the hardest parts, where it is just tempting. And I would be really lying to you if I would sit here and say that I have not had dark moments since, that I have not had moments where it passed through my head to kill myself or cut myself or do any of the dark things I used to do, or the self-sabotaging behaviors. Of course they're going to pass. Of course I've had those thoughts. But I also learned along the way that my thoughts are not me and I am not my thoughts. So that helped me in managing my thoughts. I am the observer. I am the soul observing my thoughts. I am the energy behind those thoughts. And I'm watching those thoughts like a movie reel, like a TikTok, like a constant video type of thing, like short videos. And they come and they go, and I honor each one of them, but I don't identify with the ones that are not currently aligned with where I'm going. I just honor them and allow them to pass. And that's another thing that has helped me a lot mentally, is to not identify with every thought that comes to pass, that passes through my head. Is to intentionally observe my thoughts and intentionally pick the ones and pick the ones that align with where I'm going and give those more energy, and the rest of them just lovingly let them pass in awareness, and knowing that those are darker parts of me, and I love them. But I will not allow myself to give my energetic currency to those thoughts because they don't align with where I'm going. I am no longer the person that identifies with being okay with self-sabotaging behavior, because the realizations I've come to along the way are a contrast to that. And so they gave me a new balance to them. So I no longer identify with those things. But I will let them pass in loving awareness. It's not like I'm shunning it or giving it negative energy or anything like that, because that doesn't help either. That actually will help manifest it into your reality. I don't want more of what I don't like. So I will just lovingly let it pass in consciousness. The ones that I do identify more with and that I see that can probably be a tool in helping me further align with the direction I'm going in, those are the ones I give my energetic currency to. Therefore, being intentional with my thoughts and the reality that they create. And that was one of the ways that I was always able to change my reality to a better one consistently. And I still do it now. And I'm seeing consistent positive elevations in my reality and in myself. And it's getting me closer and closer to my ultimate goal of being my highest self, always walking in my power and in my purpose, and enjoying my life along the way. This was part 2. It's already 20 minutes video. Feel free to put your thoughts in the comments. This is a safe space. I will be doing a part 3. But again, the comment section is a safe space. Feel free to express yourself. And yeah, much love. Wait for part 3.